Welcome back to the Health Benefits Network. My name is Grace Gosnell, and you may have seen one of our recent videos where I document myself through all 5 days of the Prolon diet. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'll include a link to it at the end and be sure to check that out. Today, I wanted to make a video documenting all of the tips and tricks that I've learned and researched about Prolon that helped me get through all 5 days as easily as possible. And now that I've done the full program myself, I'll also get into the results I experienced and whether or not I thought it was worth it for the price they charge, would I do it again, etc. Before we dive in, I want to mention our sponsor of this video, Scoop Health. They're an expert in medical cost-sharing memberships, which are great for individuals and families who take their health seriously, pay attention to diet and exercise, and strive to live a healthy lifestyle, which if you're someone who's interested in Prolon, this may sound a lot like you. I've personally been using a medical cost-sharing solution for many years, and I'd love to share more about how it's worked for me. I'll include a link in the description where you can reach out anytime and we can talk. Now, I'd love to start with some results and challenges for my Prolon diet, both things I enjoyed as well as those challenges I faced. Then we'll move into some tips and tricks I used along the way, and I'll close with some final thoughts about the process and if I think I'd do it again. Starting with the benefits I noticed over the 5 days, throughout nearly the whole process, I felt super sharp and clear-headed. Despite having a pretty reduced calorie intake, I never felt super hungry or like I was low on energy. Quite the opposite. I also lost a little bit of weight, which is another reported benefit of Prolon. For the challenges, I think those were largely mental for me. The closest thing to fresh fruits or vegetables throughout the week was the olives that were one of the snacks you will eat. And for me, the lack of fresh fruits and vegetables was a little tough, as this is something I normally try to make a regular part of my diet. Another thing that's oddly specific, but was a tough one for me, was texture. Throughout the 5 days, the majority of what you're eating is soup twice a day, the L bar, which is like a soft protein bar, and the chocolate crisp bar, which was a little like a soggy Rice Krispie treat. All very soft and somewhat chewy textures. The only real crisp texture was the kale and almond crackers, which I quite liked. I normally try to incorporate different textures and crunch into the food I cook, be it toasted nuts in a side dish, a panko breadcrumb topping, or chopped raw vegetables in a salad. Not having a lot of this for the duration of the diet was a little challenging for me. All that said, it's only 5 days, and I think most of us can agree we can get through anything that's a little unpleasant for that period of time. Now, let's jump into some tips for getting through those 5 days of Prolon. The first and most important tip, in my opinion, is to start Prolon at a time and fashion that will set you up for success. Now, this will mean something different for everyone, and this might be a 5-day period when you know you're not going to have plans with friends where there'll be the temptation to break the fast. For others, this might be doing the 5 days with a friend for accountability. Whatever this looks like for you, be sure to set yourself up for success. Next, utilize flavor additions that are allowed with Prolon. Not a lot of people know this one, but you're allowed to add up to 1 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt and up to 1 tablespoon of dried herbs and spices per day. This is a great way to enhance the flavor of the soups that you'll be eating so they don't become too repetitive. It can also help if you're planning to add extra water to the soups to create more volume. They'll obviously be more watered down in taste, and adding herbs and spices can help make up for this. On the spices, stick to unprocessed ones, such as red bell pepper flakes, oregano, and basil, and leave out things like turmeric or ginger that come from roots. Also in the flavor category, you can squeeze up to 2 lemon slices per day into your water, tea, or diluted L drink. And speaking of tea, if you're more of a coffee person in the morning, you're allowed to have 1 cup per day. So if that's what you need to get you up and going, then enjoy your cup of coffee. I do recommend, however, hanging onto the tea bags they send and sipping those throughout the day. I love throwing a couple of either the mint or the hibiscus into the Prolon water bottle the night before, filling it up with water, and letting it steep overnight in the fridge. That way the next day, I can drink it throughout the day like I would a glass of iced tea. A couple tips about the L bar are to pop it in the fridge and enjoy it chilled. On the other hand, warm it up in a pan until the edges get a little crispy and eat it like a warm cookie from the oven. Another thing that worked well for me was eating half the L bar in the morning and saving the other half for a snack later in the day. I'm never terribly hungry in the morning, but having an extra little snack in the afternoon worked great for me. The last tip that I'd recommend is with the kale and almond crackers. My favorite way to utilize those is to split them between the 2 soups of the day when I had the crackers in my box. I would crumble them into the soup, almost like a crouton, and that made the soups definitely more enjoyable to eat. Now, before we wrap things up, I wanted to leave you with a few takeaways from my experience with Prolon. Overall, I'd say despite the challenges, I was really pleased with how I felt and the results that I got. I think a fasting mimicking diet is definitely something that worked well for me. That said, the Prolon system isn't cheap. It's $190 for a one-time purchase, which works out to $38 per day. There are many examples online of how to do a similar diet for quite a bit less. And while maybe the convenience isn't there, I think I may give one of those a go next time. I hope these tips and takeaways on the Prolon diet give you some extra motivation that you can definitely get through the 5 days. You've just got to be smart about it. If you have other tips that have worked well for you in the past, share them in the comments below so others can hear from you too. To make sure you enjoy more content like this, please subscribe to my channel, as I'll be bringing you more healthcare benefits news and stories. And don't forget to share this video with your family and friends who are also thinking about doing Prolon. Who knows, it could be a great way to recruit a friend to do it with you. And be sure to check out my vlog that I made going through the 5 days when I last did Prolon right here.